everyone, and welcome to our knowledge transfer series. My name is John Erickson, and this is our intern,
Braden.
All right, and it's actually, you had an interesting comment right before we started this. You basically said, you hate doing these videos a little bit, but the first one was the hardest by far, right?
Well, it's not that I hate them. It's just getting out there and talking in front of a camera is always hard. But I mean, doing them at the end of the day is making me better at it. I mean, I can definitely see improvement from the first video to this one. So.
Right, I think the challenge of getting in front of the camera, if you ever need to talk to people face to face, you're kind of bridging that gap a little bit, right? Yeah, totally. So I would argue that this is a really good allegory to, if your destiny is ultimately in the financial services industry, to communicate with people directly, like have a personal touch,
right?
Real valuable, right?
Oh, totally. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's like, this is something I don't want to do, but it makes me better, so it's like, you got to do it.
Yeah. It's like taking a jog for people who don't like to jog, just get the exercise, right? So this is our last training video of training our intern Braden. You've been here all summer.
Last week at the office.
You finally get to start sleeping in again, huh?
Yeah, for a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah,
school's starting out.
Yeah, well, I saw your schedule. Unfortunately, some early morning classes in there, so...
It is 9 and 10 a.m. It's better than this, though.
Yeah, better than this, right? You don't have to get up and commute to work. Go back to the easiness of college, right? Yeah. Well, what we want to do is just kind of recap our summer and kind of go through, what you learned and maybe some concepts. So, just kind of starting off, what's the most important thing you think you learned here this summer?
I think the most important thing I've learned here this summer was that, honestly, I really like this business. I was talking to John about this before this because that was a tough question. And I was like, that's a really tough question to figure out for me because there's so much important lessons I've learned about the industry and about the jobs itself. But I think for me, the biggest thing that I've learned was that I kind of want to do this when I'm older, most likely. Like, I'm really enjoying it so far. I had a good summer, so.
Nice. Good. Well, I'm glad. And what we try to do is we try to expose you to lots of different roles in the financial services industry, right? We've taken you to rep events. We've taken you to... we've talked when reps come here in the office. We have you talk to them. You've job shadowed multiple people in this office who did different roles. What type of jobs in the financial services industry would you say you were exposed to? Yeah, so the number one job I was exposed to was probably working with you as a financial planner. Okay. I got to work with a lot of clients with you and sit in some meetings. Today, actually, a wholesaler came in. That's another job I was exposed to. So, sales rep for a company. Yeah. And those jobs are pretty cool as well. Yeah. I started there. That's a good job.
Yeah, totally. And then I would say I've also been exposed to a lot of insurance jobs for sure. I've been exposed to a bit of the investment banking side just with the one meeting, but a little bit. Sure. So there's been a lot of job experience that I've had, and we've talked about a lot of other jobs in the industry as well. So there's been a lot of experience there.
Your goal is to, of course, push you forward, right? Wherever you go. And when you went through our office, or really in the financial services industry, what do you think the hardest thing we have to do in the financial services industry is generally? Yeah, so especially from what you do, and honestly any sales job to begin with, is finding new business and just finding people that you can work with. Because getting a way to get marketing out there and constantly having a revenue stream of people coming in to work with you, new business, it's pretty tough. And so, I think these YouTube videos are a good way to do that. Honestly, it's just something that I wouldn't have thought of. But you're doing awesome at it, so it's honestly something that's really cool. Well, we just started recently, but that's part of the goal of this. It's part of a well-rounded marketing plan, right? Because I actually don't know if the YouTube videos are going to mount to anything. It's just part of it. It's another thread, right? Where you do face to face. You're trying to create relationships with different types of people, and maybe this does something someday. We'll see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, when you kind of reflect on this, time with us, you got your life insurance license, right?
Right.
You're exposed to the life insurance industry. You're exposed to prospecting, all sorts of different things. We've created this series of videos, right? You'll have proof of what we did and talked about, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I hope you actually, share these, maybe on LinkedIn or somewhere and let people see your journey. I think you will find people react very favorably to that, actually.
Totally. I think definitely adding that on my LinkedIn would be a good idea, or at least putting it somewhere out there for people to visually see it would be good. Just have a background.
Yeah. So you're 19, and I don't when I was 19, I was not as far along as you are, frankly, and even some of the concepts we're going to talk about now, I couldn't apply to myself. But if you really think about, technically, you're an adult, and you could be in this industry full speed, right?
Yeah, totally.
If you wanted to attack it, what would you say the gaps are at this point marketing yourself? Why couldn't you go out and sell a life insurance policy right now? You're allowed the license.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing I've learned is just because you got your license doesn't mean you're a salesman yet.
Sure.
I mean, working with Rob, especially in the life insurance side, like you said, you see what a true salesman does. He's constantly going out and getting new business and working with people. And I think when you just get your license and you take the exam, it doesn't really give you the idea of what it's actually like working the job. I mean, you just are given a broad range of information about life insurance, and they teach you what it is generally, but you don't actually get into the nitty-gritty of how to sell it to people.
Sure.
And so I think that's the biggest gap is when I got my license, just because I have my license doesn't mean I know how to go sell life insurance. I don't know how to, the first thing about being confident when you're talking to someone or just going out there and what to say or how to quote it for them, or even like what's good enough for how much they need. So I think that's probably the biggest gap is just like the experience factor and like learning what to do.
Well, like for me personally, like, you know, I don't like to really think of myself as a salesperson, though technically that's totally what I do. You know, I like to be, and I actually say there's lots of different styles. I try and be more consultative and more education based, right? Where, you know, I talk to a lot of different people and I educate them, and a certain subset who can find value in what I'm doing would want to work with me. Whereas Rob, as you worked with him, you know, he's selling term life insurance most of the time, and that's more of a product, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, more of a hammer and nail situation role. But I'd argue another gap you have right now is you don't necessarily have confidence in what you should be selling, right?
Totally, yeah. I mean, I've never done it before. Why to have the confidence to do it? So
right.
I think that's a big thing with these videos, and that helps grow confidence because you got some experience with talking about it and just getting the factor of saying what you're thinking out loud in terms of financial concepts and just talking it out with you. It's been super helpful for me.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's interesting too is, you know, it's just not just confidence, it's can you make yourself do something uncomfortable, right? We talked to one rep today who said, you know, when I started this, when I first started my career, you had to pick up a phone and just call people randomly.
Right.
That hurts. I never want to do that again in my career. But just finding a way, can you approach people or have a strategy to approach people to disrupt their situation and push yourself out there as an option? You know, I think that's really hard to figure out how you want to approach that.
Yeah.
You know, I'd even challenge you, you know, in the next 2 years, you do have your life insurance license. Can you sell one term life insurance case? Right? You know how to quote it. You know generally how it works. You've sat with Rob for a month. Right. So unless he's a terrible trainer, you know.
I can do it.
And definitely if he is, make sure you say that in this video because I know people related to him will watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Feel free to trash him as much as you can. We don't want to give him too much of an ego. But think about it. You know, I don't think it's not fair in the sense that 19-year-old John Erickson could not sell a life insurance policy. I couldn't do it, but technically, there's no reason you can't.
Right. And
so, you know, as you're kind of continuing your path, and especially when you're in the financial services industry, and you recognize there's a big challenge of how do you get clients or access to clients. Yeah. You should always ask yourself, well, why can't you do it? Because the reality is you should be able to do it, even at 19, technically.
Yeah.
How you do that, you know, what your path is, that's you have a lot more training to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's very cool. And you're getting exposed a lot more, so that's very fun.
Oh, totally. It's been really awesome this summer. I'm really grateful for you guys having me.
Well, it's been fun. So we got our little company party this Friday, so hopefully we'll have some pizza and hang out one last time. But, you know, anything else you want to add to your training for the summer?
Honestly, I've just had a really good summer. I have a whole resume, in fact, of just stuff I've learned, and it's been pretty cool. I'm going to definitely use this in the future and probably even upload my YouTube videos onto this resume, so it's just going to be attached.
That's fine.
So I think this has been a lot of good experience, and I'm excited to see where I go from here.
Well, cool. Well,
thank you guys for that. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure. You know, you've worked really hard here, and you know you've helped pioneer the editing of our YouTube videos and creating that channel, right? You know, so you've done great there, and so. You know, as I grow that out and expose it, and, you know, maybe I'll even be able to show you some feedback of this how it works out.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
You can push your career forward.
You're going to be able to get it pretty good, I have a feeling.
Eventually, you know, it'll be good. Well, great. Well, you know, thank you so much for being in the summer. And I guess we will sign off, huh?
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, well, I'm John Erickson.
Braden Altmeyer.
And we will see you in the next video. Thanks.